Hello, welcome to another grief share video. This is just kind of my video to share what I've been going through. Um, I guess the past week or so. So I'm just gonna go into some of those topics. Um, Sometimes it is more one thing or another. Um, but I was kind of having trouble deciding what thing was bothering me the most this week, so I may bounce around a little bit. Um, I guess I'll kind of start with just the fact that I'm in the I guess me and my husband are in the process of um, thinking about having a child, at least trying to get in the mindset of that kind of thing. And um, like I said on my last grief share video, it felt like that's kind of what God was telling us to do. But um, I think some of the problems with having a child, well, I guess I'll just say this for our situation. It's really trying to make some decisions about how much access people will have to the child. Um, I've heard of some other people having this struggle. I remember my uncle talking about how much access he wanted my grandmother to have, basically his mother, to have to his child. And I've heard people talk about how they're not comfortable um, with grandparents disciplining their child and things like that. Me and my husband have a little bit more complicated situation because um, we're in the process of trying to get our relationships with our parents in a better place. Um, so we kind of limited our contact with them. As far as my side of the family, I'm not speaking to them at all, and that's not really where I want things. And I know I've talked about this a little bit before, but um, my mother was so abusive that I had to cut contact with her. And as far as that, like I don't really have a problem with it. But the tricky part gets with my dad. He's he's not really abusive, in my opinion. He just happened to kind of get stuck in the middle of things. He just decided to keep having contact with my mother, and unfortunately, she would manipulate him into passing messages back and forth, and it was really bothering me and inappropriate. So I had to stop talking to him too, and so I'm I'm wanting a better relationship with him. And I don't know um if you're familiar with an if you know a narcissist, you can't really talk to anybody that associates with them, unfortunately. Um, I'm in a position of having to make a tough decision. Um, you know, like when I do have a child, am I going to tell my parents? Um, I'm leaning towards most likely not telling my mother, but it's very hard not to tell my dad because he's been so loving and supportive of me. Um, but unfortunately, if I tell my dad something, it goes straight to my mother. Um, I'm trying to keep an open mind about it. And then with my husband's parents, um we used to go to church with them, and now um we're kind of just trying to only see them like once a year, and not talk to them very often, which is extremely different from what it used to be. Like I said, we used to go to church with them and see them every Sunday, and I mean, there's a tough decision to make with that. How often do we decide to let my parents, see him? Um, you know, when do we tell him if we are going to tell him? These are tough decisions to make. And these things cross my mind sometimes. I try not to worry about it too much because, you know, not even being pregnant, it's not really a pressing matter. Um, Also, I feel like my mindset can change drastically over time. I don't know where I'm going to be mentally in a year, whatever happens next year. It's hard to know, but it's hard not to worry too. So I feel that a lot, and it's not really just because of a child. You know, I feel like I constantly try to readdress the situation in my mind with my parents. Every month or two, I try to think about it again and try to figure out if I have a new way to handle the situation. I guess through things I'm learning in life, I keep hoping that I'll think of something outside the box that'll make sense to me to I guess at least be in contact with my dad. It's just really hard for me. But every time I think about it, I just can't think anything else. So I just have to deal with the pain of what it is right now. Still hoping for the dynamic to change. And same thing with my husband's parents. I want things to be better, but I need some kind of new information, or I need to change my mindset on some things to really go back into a situation of um, being in more contact. And this is really true with anybody. You know, I have a hard time like having friends and things like that because um, I feel like it can cause a lot of problems in like your personal relationships and stuff to have outsiders involved. So I mean, it is harder with family because they will always be your family. There's nothing you can do about that. So you kind of have to navigate it the best you can. Um, but there are people who are so toxic you can't have a relationship with them. I guess that's what I would say about my mother. But um, anyway, I've also been having a lot of trouble with some of the physical things I've been going through this week. Headaches and nausea. I've had some trouble with some medication that I was taking. So that's been a huge focus for me too. I end up having these terrible headaches that I have to take medicine for that I don't want to take. A few years ago, I was having migraines so often that I had to take headache powders every day for a year, and was finally able to get off of them and not take them as much. And I find myself using them again more and more. So I don't like that kind of stuff happening. I'm hoping that um, things will change physically, to not go into a deeper hole or what feels like a hole. Um, but anyway, I guess I'll try to end it there. It's hard to go into a lot of detail because there's such a bigger picture to most of the things I'm talking about. But that's kind of the detailed version. So if you have your own grief share story, something you're going through that's difficult, you're welcome to share it in the comments. And sometimes it's nice to know somebody else that's going through stuff too. So anyway, I guess I'll leave it there, and I thank you for watching.